Oh, good morning. Welcome in. We're going to switch gears, and we need to talk a little SEC and college football big picture. There's a lot going on, as you know, and there's a lot of hand-wringing as far as what the college football playoff format is going to look like. I have some thoughts on that before I go to Tom Luginbill real quick. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, brought to you by Fuse.cloud. That's Fuse. If you're a business owner, you know what a nightmare tech issues can be. Slow computers, email problems, security scares, and nobody to call. Fuse.cloud, Fuse, is like having your own IT department without having to build one. Whether you've got no IT team or just need backup for your crew, Fuse.cloud has your back. 24/7 support, local team, no nonsense. Fuse.cloud, Fuse. All right, before I tee up Luke's, here's the deal. I'm listening to Sankey talk about what's going on. Ross Dellinger's writing about it every 5 minutes, and Ross does a great job. Mississippi State grad, now with Yahoo, one of the best college football writers in the country and super connected. As far as what the new format's going to look like, and there's a lot of pushback. I get it from the ACC and the Big 12 and the G5 and possibly Notre Dame, but I think they'll always be, part of the deal. Here's my deal. Now that we've got the power, so for what, 200 years, the East Coast and the West Coast and the Midwest made fun of the South. Now we're the place to be. Quality of life, people making tons of money. We got water everywhere. We got the SEC. People want to go to SEC schools. I mean, it's a ton of fun. We've got the players. We got the money. We got the tailgating. We got the college towns. We got the condos. We got beautiful women. Cool. It's all happening. We got the same software technology as someone has in New York and LA. All right. And now everybody's like, well, you need to give. Well, why do we have to give? What the Yankees in the Midwest and the West Coast didn't give to us. Why do we have to give? Or do we just say tough blank? I like what Sankey said. No, we're gonna think about our conference, because it was funny back when people took national championships from Coach Paul Bear Bryant, the Midwest and Northeast media that voted on it in the AP poll. They laughed about it in their offices in Chicago and New York and Detroit and so on. So the game is flipped. We hold the cards. I'm all about it. They want more bids. I get it. I mean, do I want it just SEC and Big Ten? That's not what I'm saying. But the landscape shifted. It's not Greg Sankey's fault that the Pac-12 bankrupted themselves through a gazillion $1 million of rent and terrible deals in the Pac-12 network and things like that. So that's where I am. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Tom Luginbill, don't you feel like we're going to a 16-team playoff sooner than later?
It sure looks like it, Bo. I mean, from what the discussions have been, and you're right, Ross Dellinger is totally dialed in on this, and he's on top of it each and every day. Let's not forget one thing, okay, and it's the most important thing. Forget the SEC, forget the Big Ten, forget the ACC, the Big 12. This is about one thing. This is about money. Expansion of the playoff makes more money. You think any of them care who's in the playoff? No. They don't care who's in the playoff. They care about money. And the more teams in, the more money to be made, the more the expansion of the season lays out. And at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. It's the dollar bill, and that's fine. And I hope everybody that's involved from that perspective is able to flourish, is able to enhance their athletic programs. I do hope that it touches, some of the lower tier Power 5 schools because of their conference affiliation, regardless of whether or not they'll ever be a college football playoff participant. I hope it helps the group of five. Now, I'm of the belief, Bo, I don't care about the group of five when it comes to the college football playoff.
Me neither.
I stood on that sideline in the quarterfinal watching a varsity and a JV scrimmage between Penn State and Boise State. And that's not disrespect to Boise State.
Sure.
There's a reason why there are different levels of college football, because there are different talent levels associated with college football. So when we sit there and we talk about, oh, well, we got to let so-and-so in. No, we don't. No, we don't. Now, Bo, my only pushback is just because you're the SEC, just because you're the Big Ten, should not guarantee you 4 lost teams from your conference being into the playoff. I think that's fundamentally wrong. You can sit there and say, oh, well, we're the strongest conference. We've had the best schedule. There's a lot of data that actually says, from an SEC perspective, particularly in the non-conference, that's not true. There's a lot of data that will tell you that from a transfer portal perspective, we've evened the playing field. We've spread the talent more evenly amongst other teams. And that's why on any given Saturday, an Ole Miss can lose to Florida, all right, and be in the situation that they were in a year ago. And so to me, like, if we're going to sit there and say, oh, well, you're going to have the conference champion and then 4 at-larges. Okay, well, let's just say the last 2 teams there out of the Big Ten and out of the SEC. What would their records be? Because, Bo, in the Big Ten last year, you can say all you want. There were 2 to 3 teams that were really good. Everybody else was average to below average to bad. So what records are we going to allow if we're going to give all of these automatic bids just because of the conference affiliation?
I see where you're coming from. Tom Luginbill, ESPN's college football team. So here's where we are. There's a 4-4-2-2-1 model, which would be 4 automatic qualifiers to the SEC and the Big Ten, two each to the ACC and Big 12, and 1 to the top group of 5 team. All right?
Okay.
And then we've got another one that's the 5+11 format, which includes 5 automatic qualifiers for the top conference champs and 11 at-large bids. And that gets people – it doesn't bother me, but it gets people real hot and bothered because the shift of what it could look like for the SEC. Now, I think Sankey and maybe even the Big Ten commissioner are also looking for some little bit different criteria from the College Football Playoff Committee. I think at the end of the day, Lugs, the SEC and the Big Ten is going to get what they want. How do you see it?
Very likely. I want to go back to that 5-11 deal. So you got 5 conference champions, or then including a group of 5 champion in that, correct?
Right.
Okay, then that needs to be appropriately seated, meaning the group of 5 champion needs to be last.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, now you've got what they would call 11 at-larges. Now, for me, if you're the SEC and you're the Big Ten, if you think you're so dominant and so differentiated from everybody else, why would you push back on that? Go out on the field and prove it, right? Go out and say, well, our conference, and maybe from year to year it would be different. Maybe you'd sit there and you'd say, well, one year, damn, the SEC might end up having 6 at-larges, but then the next year it doesn't work out that way, and they get 2.
Right.
And I think there's some, in my opinion, I think that we need to accept that there needs to be a part of this that is earned through performance. Because when we start giving automatic bids and things of that nature, then you start getting into the debate of an 8-4 team, and you're comparing that team versus, let's take SMU last year from the ACC.
Okay.
Would an 8-4 SEC team, all right, and let's just say last year, and let's just say that the non-conference is relatively poor, should they be in over a 10-2 SMU ball club? I think it's a great debate. I think you could probably point to positive negatives for both. But that 11 at-large, to me, is intriguing because it makes people earn it based off of merit. Now, you're going to have debate of resumes. You're going to have all those sorts of things. And that's the other problem with the College Football Playoff Committee, because you have a bunch of people in that room that have no business being in the room. So when you start to have those discussions, how educated are the people in the room having those discussions?
Sure.
And so I'm all for the expansion of it. I think ultimately the excellence will rise to the top, but I do think there's an element, in my opinion, where regardless of conference affiliation, it has to be earned. We can't find ourselves, because if you took the Big Ten last year and you said, okay, they get 4 automatic bids or whatever it is, do you know how mediocre 2 of those teams would have been?
Bad. Like average. That's not right. That's not what we're looking at. We're going to sit there and say, well, you just get them because you're the Big Ten. Right.
And so I see all angles on this. I get it. Trust me, I'm not naive. I've spent my life doing this. I think there's a bunch of different ways to skin a cat, but I still go back to the fact that you can divvy this up all the way, however you want. This is about money. That's it.
Yeah, no doubt. And they're also trying to figure out a way, as you know, by expanding the playoff to pay for swimming, golf, and track and field. You know, all these sports
of course,
that just hemorrhage and lose money.
Especially the male non-revenue sports, because you're not going to be allowed to cut any of the female non-revenue.
That's exactly right. So, you know, you've got to figure out a way, women's volleyball, men's golf, track and field, all these sports that we love that kids get to compete and participate, but, you know, some of these sports need to go to kind of the club level on the university campuses. Okay. Tom Luginbill with ESPN. Now, this could bode well for people like Tom Luginbill, because he's called some amazing games, and he loves to call big games, and he's called big games. But this could work out in both his and his colleagues' favor. Let me throw this out: the SEC and Big Ten have discussed restructuring conference championship weekends to include play-in games for their final 2 automatic qualifier spots in the 4-4-2-2-1 model. This would involve matchups among their 3rd through 6th place teams, with winners earning a playoff spot. Now, to me, that's delicious late in the year, because you got an everything on the line scenario in early December, right after Thanksgiving, to go to the college football playoff. What do you think about that, Tom Luginbill?
So then you would expand from a 12-game regular season and then add an extra game that's not the conference championship game, if I'm hearing you correctly, in order to figure out who the other 2 teams would be. So you'd have 4 teams, and again, make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You'd have the 2 teams playing in the championship game, and then you'd have the next 4 teams playing a game to figure out who those 2 at-larges are.
Yes, and they would be.
Okay.
Here's what's cool. They would be on. I think more needs to be on campus. That's a whole nother debate for another day. But yes, and they would be on campus. So picture, you know, December and Tennessee hosting a game, and LSU hosting a game, or Ole Miss and Florida hosting a game. I mean, that'd be pretty damn cool. You know? Yeah,
it would be great. I mean, I think what would be interesting is how it would map out amongst the Power 4 conferences if not every conference did it.
Right.
You know, so you're going to sit there and you're going to have this debate of, okay, well, we put ourselves at risk by playing that extra game to ensure we are one of the at-larges. And then the other conference is going to say, we stand on merit. We stand on our record to this point. We don't feel the need to play that extra game. And then how would you make decisions then if you're the committee? I think I like the idea of this. I think it would create unless everybody was doing it, like all Power 4 conferences did it, that's one thing. But if some didn't, I think it creates a lot of issues in the room, because now you've got a whole other host of decision-making criteria that you didn't have before.
Yeah, and look, I think the whole Ole Miss versus Wofford or LSU versus whoever, I think those games are eventually going to go away, Luke's.
If they do, it's really, really unfortunate, because those programs, both Group of 5 and FCS alike, are completely pretty much tied to having those games on their schedule to not just fuel their football program, but their athletic program.
Oh, yeah, because they get paid $1.5 million.
Really
Sure.
Yeah, that's more like for example, my son's at Eastern Kentucky. Okay, well, they're going to play Louisville out of conference. All right, well, that money from a P4 in the ACC to an FCS is hugely important. And it's not just with FCS affiliation, it's also with Group of 5 affiliation. So I think we've all kind of seen that coming over the next few years, over the last few years, and then coming certainly here probably sooner rather than later. I just don't like it, because I think it hurts all of college football that, isn't involved at the FBS level.
Yeah. Okay. Tom Luginbill, National College Football Analyst with ESPN. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line, and the show is brought to you by Rick's Pro Truck, spray and bed liners, lift kits. Rick's Pro Truck with 3 locations in the metro area. All right. And I wonder if they'll ever shorten the regular season just by 1 game, and to make the calendar more time to play either play-in games or real playoff games. Luke's, that's going to be interesting too.
I would imagine the initial thought prior to getting to that point will be to move opening weekend to the second weekend in August and buy yourself 2 weeks before you ever get to Labor Day weekend. And then you try to fit everything in, from that perspective. Once you get to, that last Wednesday, which would be signing day before championship weekend, and all of that would now occur 2 weeks earlier so that you can create more time and more room. A lot of people don't realize when you look at what the FCS model has done with their playoff, with their 2014, their first round is on Thanksgiving weekend. That's their first round. So they buy themselves a lot of time. And then if you notice, their championship game, I think, is like the week of January 10th. So in order to survive that gauntlet, which would apply to the FBS level too, you have to create open time. You have to create weeks where you give your teams that earn a bye off, all right, then you play your games, and then eventually as you get to the quarterfinals and the semifinals, then you have another 2 weeks off before you play the championship game. You wouldn't be able to survive. Remember, they're playing with rosters that are smaller than the FBS rosters. Now, that's going to start to shift now with the settlement and everybody going to, 105 players. But there is something to be said for backing the start of the season up, which essentially would mean that everything would have to back up, right? You'd have to start your training camp earlier. You'd have less time off in the summer for your coaches, their families, for your players. You would probably have a little less time for a second summer session if you needed somebody that academically needed to be in that session. So, per usual, the devil's in the details, and there's a lot of stuff to work out.
Yeah, and I'm okay with the NFL model as far as allowing them to get together as a team in May, June, and July instead of waiting until August and do, 2 and 3 day, like they're doing right now in the NFL, 2 and 3 day mini camps instead of saying,
absolutely.
Yeah. Instead of saying, hey, you just got this spring window to practice, and then you're with the strength and conditioning program for a few months, and then we all get back together like August 4th. I like the idea of them doing like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then letting the kids go, but doing that several times just to continue to, refine your skills and sharpen the sword.
Put them in helmets and shells.
Yes.
Give yourself an opportunity to come out of spring football, out of the spring football portal window, and it would almost be like the draft where they've got rookie minicamp, Only instead of them being rookies, they're your incoming transfer portal guys, and you say, okay, guys, we're all new here together. Spring football's done. The portal's done. We're starting our summer semester. Everybody's in-house, and we're going to spend 4 to 5 days on the field as a football team getting better. And I don't see any downside to that. That thing is, if we're going to turn over these rosters, 30, 40, 45 players each and every year, and you expect these teams to perform at a high level, the most difficult thing to do right now in college football is maintain chemistry, a clean locker room, adhere to your foundational pillars of what you want your program to be, because when the roster is so transactional, it's hard to do that. Well, why not give these teams, these coaching staffs, more time on the field together to develop that chemistry, to develop what that locker room is going to be, and to actually put a better product on the field as a result?
I agree. Let's switch gears. Tom Luginbill on the show. Do you know if you're going to ACC Media Days yet? Because I think Bill Belichick could be a home run for as far as creating content.
I don't even know what my game crew is going to be this fall yet so far. So that's up in the air for me. But living in Charlotte, having ACC kickoff in Charlotte, yes, I will be there. I can't imagine I will not be assigned to that as I have been each of the last, 6 or 7 years. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. As I've seen, I think the schedule is shown. They have Dabo Swinney and Bill Belichick on the same day.
Oh, wow.
And so, it's going to be interesting to see how that thing unfolds. And, can you imagine the turnout and the questions that are going to be asked, and most importantly, not answered? Bill Belichick ain't putting up with any of that stuff. He might sit up there and say, on advice of my counsel, I plead the Fifth Amendment.
No doubt.
But you know what, though, Bo? You know what? He's created this environment.
That's right.
He's chosen to go down a different path, one that they have never traveled before in his personal life, which has it's kind of like Colorado, right?
Yeah.
When Coach Prime got to Boulder and this and that, well, don't start crying about it when things don't. You created this.
That's right.
And this is what the monster is that you wanted out there.
That's right.
And now a negative connotation comes out of it, and all of a sudden, we don't want to deal with it. Well, tough. This was created internally, and now in this sport, people are going to ask.
Yeah. All right. So who's I guess the biggest personality is still Dabo in the ACC. Now, Cristobal's got some bite and tons of charisma and swagger, but he just hasn't quite won at the level he needs to yet. So I guess I'd go Dabo. Well, we got to get out of here, don't we? Damn it. All right.
Well, now, I'll tell you right now, do you want to know who personality is aside from Dabo?
Who?
The one that puts himself out there, is to the point, black and white, no gray area. He does not sugarcoat anything, and I love him. Fran Brown at Syracuse.
Oh, yeah. He's doing a good job, too.
Yep. Doing a great job.
Okay. All right, buddy. Have a great week. Thanks, Tom Luginbill.
We'll do. You too. See ya.
We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And want to say good morning, welcome in. We're brought to you by Cover Source Solutions, family-owned business rooted in central Mississippi for residential and commercial HVAC, air conditioning, and plumbing. Cover Source Solutions. Call Cover Source Solutions if you need AC help, because you want your house to be cool and cold and feel good. Cover Source Solutions for all your air conditioning install and repair.
Stand by for audio. Got it.
It's 8 a.m., and you're tuned to Mississippi's #1 choice for non-stop sports. The Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Where am I? On the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
Let's talk Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone. Elijah Craig, Old Fashioned, and a sizzling seared ribeye, medium rare, Kessler Prime in the Renaissance, KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. They have 6 private dining rooms that you can reserve to. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. Good morning. Welcome in. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Jackson, how you feeling about it today? What did you just see? Some people running around with weights?
Yeah, man. I don't know what they're doing over there. They're hitting, they're in the parking lot. It looks like they're running, one of those Olympic events where you hand off the baton.
Yeah.
Looks like that's what, or relay race is what it is. So, yeah, looks like what they got going on out there, but they got weights.
Wow.
Probably
you could join them on National Global Running Day.
You know, I would make the argument if I were those guys that, we should, pay our respects to Global Running Day and take the day off of running.
I like that too.
I mean, because it's not that hot out there right now. It feels all right out there.
Yeah. I mean, it'll warm up at some point, but right now it's good. I did a little grounding before I got here. Felt great. Yeah.
It was like 69 out there.
Was it? I didn't realize that.
Nice.
Okay. National Cheese Day. Do you have a favorite cheese? I like flavor.
That's a tough one.
Jalapeno, pepper jack, Swiss, cheddar, Edam.
Man, I don't know why Gorgonzola comes to mind, but I like Gorgonzola cheese.
Yeah. You like a little Gorgonzola?
I do.
Wow. Sal Nuki's does a Gorgonzola that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Is that what they drizzle? Isn't that what they put on some salads?
They do. They will also give you a side of Gorgonzola with their wings.
No, like that.
Yeah. That's the way to get out.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, I do like Gorgonzola.
I picked you up a fried Dirty Bird wrap from Burgers Blues Barbecue in Madison, B3.
Yeah.
I got Wilkes some wings. They didn't last long. He told me he wasn't hungry, and then he ate them all.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
I guess when you're that age, you just say, "Oh, I'm not hungry," but then they'll just eat them.
Well, I mean, whether they're hungry or not, you can still eat them.
Right. Yeah.
It being bottomless pits.
But let's ask our listeners, what's your favorite cheese and what do you like it on? How about that? I want to give away a $25 gift certificate to Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue. 2 rounds of golf to Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. And we may throw something else in. But here's how you enter. Let's do an out-of-bounds roll call an hour into the show. I'd like to know if you're listening on 105.9 The Zone ESPN or you're streaming the show. Where are you listening from? And then what's your favorite cheese? And what do you like it on? Man, a lot of you are going to say a burger, sandwich, cheese grits, eggs Benedict, all kinds of omelets. I mean, God, think about all the different cheeses that you can do with an omelet, especially when you go into like some local place and they cook it right there in front of you, or if you're at a resort and you're outside, it's kind of mid-morning, you're on vacation, and you've already got a fun beverage, and you're like, yeah, I'll take an omelet and add those 3 cheeses. Let's rock and roll with some bacon and sausage, and maybe, I don't know, kick it in with a little peppers. But the text line, the Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. We'll do a $25 gift certificate to Burgers Blues Barbecue, B3, and we'll do 2 rounds of golf to Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. You can play the Azaleas or the Oaks. I talked to my man Brad, he and his wife and another couple went to Pearl River Resort last weekend, and they did the whole thing.
Nice.
They did golf. He was at Raggio's meet and greet Elijah Craig party yesterday. But they did Dancing Rabbit Golf, and they did Philip M's, and the girls did the spa. Steve Azar mentioned last week how cool the spa is there at Pearl River Resort. So for 24 to 48 hours of fun, plus the super, I mean, do you want to go with 2 or 3 or 4 guys, have some ice cold, Budweisers and Michelob Ultras, smash wings and quesadillas, and sit in the sports book for a little while and enjoy that, and then venture out to the table games, and then go back into the sports book, and then hit Philip M's, wake up the next morning, you're home in an hour. That is a beautiful thing. Mac is streaming in Inlet Beach. He's always there for us. And he says, what is this? Monsieur and Swiss and an omelet? I don't know if I pronounced that right.
You did.
But it sounds awesome. Man, if you get a good... Now, I like mine seared just a little bit. I don't like it super runny, an omelet. Now, I'll take a runny egg, okay?
Yeah.
Just right out. Wendy will make them on the weekends right out of the skillet. That's beautiful. Or a runny egg on a burger is flat out with some good, like, Mississippi State jalapeno cheese or Edam or Boar's Head, pepper jack cheese, whatever direction you want to go. But, man, if you're going to do the omelet, and whether it's in, local or whatnot, I want it cooked. I don't mean hard, just right when it starts to get a little char light brown on it, boom, pull it, and let's roll. How do you feel about that? Do you like omelets?
I do. I mean, I do like omelets.
You ate one from B3 a couple months ago.
They're versatile.
They are versatile because a lot of times, like if you're in a resort, they'll have like 18 different toppings,
right,
for you to choose from mushrooms and peppers and onions and cheese and meats and all kinds of fun stuff.
An omelet
Sometimes
bar.
they'll throw a little shrimp in there. Boom.
Yes,
little crawfish omelet.
Yeah, even
mud bug style.
Yeah.
Oh, sausage. Andouille or deer. Get down.
Highly versatile.
You are highly versatile.
Slept on.
What's your jacket that you're wearing?
Oh,
it's neon and black.
Yeah, it's one of these little lightweight yoga type deals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels good all the time. It's like I don't have a jacket on.
Yeah. Well, I've always thought that you could pull off. Now, I think you'd get in trouble, and I don't know how far we want to get into this.
Oh boy.
But I've always thought that you could pull off being a tennis pro at a country club. Now, you would be a very leisure, couple lessons in the morning.
Yes.
Then a long kind of lunch, and you'd love to just roam around the club and visit because you're you can talk to anybody for a long, long time. And then wrap it up with maybe 2 more lessons. My only thing would be you giving lessons to married women.
Right. It's just a bad idea.
That could not go well. I mean, that doesn't go well at country clubs around the country on a weekly basis. However, you're 6'4", you look like a tennis player.
Right.
Much more so than any other sport.
Sure.
You look like a tennis player.
I can buy that.
So, I've always thought, and you wear kind of the garb.
Yeah.
The gear.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's very tennis-like.
Yeah. I mean, you look like you could hit with Rafael Nadal this morning just to get him warmed up for the Marlboro Classic or whatever the hell the ATP is doing now.
Be awesome.
The Camel Lights Classic or wherever they're playing. I mean, tennis is a phenomenal sport, and they've done a super. I'll quote the late great John Feinstein, who was a big proponent of tennis and covered a million Wimbledons and French Opens and so on. But nobody in his book, he talked about how poor a job professional tennis did marketing themselves, coming out of an unbelievable run with Lindell and McEnroe and Connors, and just totally blanked because they didn't give the media access. If you don't give the media access, people will find something else to do. But you look like a country club tennis pro.
I like it.
I just think you'd possibly get in a little trouble. Tom Luginbill. Want to say good morning, welcome in. It's for right now, Keith Carter and Lane Kiffin are having to share a little bit of the state with some guy named BOC. Brian O'Connor, national champion coach, 7 College World Series. Tanner Allen's quote that Mississippi State released, he lives in Omaha. 9 super regionals, 7 College World Series appearances. He's now the head baseball coach for a program that has by far and away the nicest stadium and the most rabid fan base in the country, that has been tapped into, but not ever at the level that it needed to be, which is weird. It's a weird program. Successful. Ron Polt did an amazing job building it up, and driving players to MLB. Should they have had more postseason? People come, I look at my text line from Ole Miss fans, and they're like, the rational ones. And they're like, look, I love Mike Bianco, but goodness gracious, I want to have a little bit more postseason success. I get it. We all want a little bit. On the Mississippi State side, Polk 77 and 97 had to have more post. And that was before anybody cared. That's the problem. But fast forward to today, Brian O'Connor, McMullen and this group realize what they have, and they're going to load the boat. You should have a roster like Arkansas and Florida State and Tennessee every year. All this overachieving. The dirtbag thing's fine. It's overplayed. Okay, it's fine. Just get guys like Foscue, Westberg, Bangham, and Tanner Allen. Brent Rooker, Ethan Small, Dakota Hudson. They're out there. That's who you should have. Dakota Jordan. It's not just about getting more high-end talent like Ace Reese. You should have more than one of him. But it's also raising the floor. You played too many guys who are nice. They're nice players, but they're way, way, way too fringe. That needs to be eliminated. Brian O'Connor needs to have a bunch of dudes that are fighting like crazy that could, even if they don't play for you, could play for other teams, even in the league. But you need to load the boat talent-wise. And you've recruited players from California to Florida forever. I remember the first players I fell in love with at Mississippi State in 80-81 were from the West Coast in Florida. So you've been recruiting. You need to do more of that. I'm good with Mississippi players, but you need to go out of state and get baseball players too. You need to get them from Florida. You need to get them from California, and you need to get them from the Mid-Atlantic region. That has to get done. It needs to be done. And you need to demand that you have a loaded roster every single year. Not this hodgepodge of, I'll look out on the lineup and I'm like, that guy's more Troy. That guy's more Troy. That guy's more Troy. You can't say that. It's time to get serious. And if O'Connor stays 8 years, it's beautiful. Great. He'll make $16 million. He'll be happy. Wife will be happy. Drive you to some super regionals. Hit the Omaha button a couple of times and hopefully play into the second weekend of the big dance in Omaha, Nebraska, where there's nothing else to do except watch baseball. And if you stay out there 7 nights, you lose your mind. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Man, I'm getting some great text on the text line, 601-885-3776. War Eagle Rich is excited about his Auburn Tigers in the Super Regional. You should be. I wish my Dogs were in the Super Regional. Ole Miss fans wish their Rebs were in the Super Regionals. And Golden Eagles fans also wish that they were there. I get it. Supers are so much fun. Because, Bell's on the line, isn't it? Best 2 out of 3. Every single pitch, you're on the edge of your seat, losing your collective. Well, we've all lost our minds because we're humans, but we're in the SEC. But this weekend, if your team's in, that is edge of your seat baseball from the first pitch of the first game till whoever takes 2. And we'll have some series go into game 3 all the way to the end. and maybe extra innings. No doubt about it.
Playoff baseball's the best.
It is. I think you just said it better. I didn't say it as well as I should have. Playoff baseball is amazing.
It is.
It's amazing in October.
Yep.
With MLB, especially if my Cubs or Braves are in it, or someone like Jake Mangum. But it's playoff baseball. It will be insane this weekend. Parents' stomachs in a knot. They've got a starter on the Coastal Carolina team or the Arkansas team or the UCLA team. Not even going to be able to function this week. I mean, as a parent.
Right.
You may be a CPA sales teacher. You're going through the motions the next 24, 48 hours before going to whatever super regional you're going to attend. You don't know who's talking to you. You don't know what you're eating, and you don't know what day it is. It is super regional playoff baseball, which is total insanity, usually in a good way. To go punch your ticket to the greatest show on dirt, or whatever they call it. The home of Warren Buffett.
And O'Connor.
Brian O'Connor's from Omaha, Nebraska. Did you tell me that?
I told, and also told you, he's got a, there's a statue outside of Rosenblatt. And it just so happens that it's modeled after the 1991 Creighton baseball team.
Oh, he played at Creighton. Are you sure about this? I mean, I know the statue.
Yes.
I didn't read up on it, though.
Yep. It's him.
I was either at the baseball park or meeting buddies at bars and restaurants. There's not a lot to do at Omaha. It gets real weird. Okay? I mean,
I bet.
I went to the Dick's Sporting Goods because I needed a pair of pants. I flew from the beach. I wasn't even packed right.
Okay.
So I took an Uber across the bridge to Iowa to get some pants from Dick's Sporting Goods. Like I was trying to get the closest, like Peter Millar, like the Rogue Men's Store looking pants just to wear to the.
Yeah.
I had like swimsuits and a pair of like 15-year-old, khaki shorts and some T-shirts. Yeah.
And Dick's was the closest place.
Yeah. My buddy John Lundy let me borrow a golf shirt.
Nice.
Yeah. I walked in the Marriott one day and he was like, "Do you need some help?" I went, "I didn't pack and I can't find anything." He went, "Let me go up to my room and get you a shirt."
I mean, hey.
Hey, that's a friend.
That's a good friend.
I mean, I'm trying to have a cold beer with Brad Williams and John Lundy and this crew, and I don't have a golf shirt, and I couldn't find one. I walked all around town. The place across the street from the Marriott sold a bunch of knockoff NCAA, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Texas stuff, right?
Nice.
But hell, the stuff looked like crap.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm either not gonna. No. And I kept asking the guy. I was like, "Dude, this stuff all looks like it was shipped in from Taiwan and doesn't fit anybody." I mean, and so I went through the whole thing. Even Cohen, I ran into Cohen in the lobby, and he looked at me, and I was like, "Hey, don't judge. You're the one with all the, at that time, Hell State merch, right?" He probably travels with 15 cool-looking Adidas golf shirts. I'm like, "Look a brother up."
Yeah.
So John Lundy was like, I got you a golf shirt. I needed one.
It is stamped.
But I went over to Dick's Sporting Goods to get a pair of pants.
I'm glad Dick's was there for you.
I probably hadn't been in years, but it's a little weird over in Iowa, across the bridge from Omaha.
I bet.
Yeah. But I went. So anyway, Tom Luginbill, ESPN's college football team. Coming up next, driven by your next zero-turn X mark All right, good morning. Welcome in. We are the Out of Bounds Show. If you want to watch this craziness, you can go to YouTube and search Out of Bounds Sports, and you can see Jack Bourgeois' super handsome face, and then you can see me. So go to YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. We've got Chorizo, Jack Bourgeois, good morning, with Key City Beer. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me as always.
We love that you're here because you bring great beer from Key City in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and great cold brew from Key City.
Thank you.
But you also brought, tell me what these are.
Chorizo, venison, jalapeno poppers. They're not from Key City. I don't know how we got on this topic one time. It was just
There's no telling.
Yeah, I mean,
no, you said that you like to deer hunt.
Yeah. I think that might have been it. And it just, hunting and cooking go hand in hand. And I think we got on this topic. And so I promised you I'd bring them sooner or later. And I think a year later, I finally got them in here in the studio.
I love it. Well, it's good to see you, my man.
Likewise.
Jalapeno, chorizo, venison, jalapeno poppers.
Yeah,
Did I just get that right?
I need to come up with a name for them, but
it needs to be like the bourgeois poppers.
are
you single?
Yeah.
Are you like Jackson? Jackson never commits when I ask that question.
I don't know how to answer that one.
Okay. Well, guess what this sound is? This sound's going to be me opening a Key City Mi Vida, their Mexican lager. Noise. Whoa. Boom. And Jack actually brought limes, too.
Always. Got to.
It's a beautiful thing.
Mi Vida has to be served with a lime. And I do have to thank you for Mi Vida becoming a staple of ours. I think you were one of the main components from our spring/summer seasonal last year becoming a staple and one of our number one sellers. So thank you for that.
Boom.
It's all throughout Jackson right now, several stores, several bars and restaurants selling it. And we're stoked to have it as a year-round beer, and I know everyone else is too. So thank you.
We love you guys. I mean,
it's mutual. I love you guys too.
I mean, I love Key City beer. I love local Mississippi companies. When Southern Bev put us together and I met you, I knew it was going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you have Key City Mississippi Queen, which is absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
You have Mr. Sippy, which is a super fun Pilsner.
Oh, yeah. It's your honey to do beer, your mow your lawn beer.
Boom.
Outside in this heat, this Mississippi humidity. Yeah, that and Mi Vida are really easy drinking.
You've got Death on Two Legs.
Don't recommend drinking that one in 9,500 degree weather.
No, but
it
when
may
you're,
get you, but no, it is.
When
It
you're
is.
in the
It's
air
our pride
conditioning?
and joy.
Yeah.
It is our pride and joy. Double IPA, super drinkable for an imperial, but dangerously delicious.
I like that. Jackson Meadows, Jack Bourgeois, dangerously delicious. Key City Death on Two Legs. I love that. And then now Mi Vida is your Mexican lager, and it went from seasonal Bourgeois to year-round starting a month or two ago or sometime.
Yeah,
right?
we just released it about 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So and it's hit the ground running and doing super well. Got it in quite a few accounts here locally. Barley's, Saltines, 10 South, some of our top accounts.
Barley's, great spot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Greg. Saltines, does it get any better than eating in the bar?
Love it.
And smashing some appetizers and having a little Key City beer from Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Those fried oysters are so good.
They're amazing.
Oh, so good.
And then 10 South over in Vicksburg, y'all's place?
Yeah, we're we have a pretty good bar and restaurant as well. We're under the same ownership group as 10 South, so we love Jay Parmigiani and Crystal over there. They're awesome to us.
Great name.
I'm going to do a show there again this year from you and Zach's spot.
Let's do it.
Jack and Zach, Key City Beer.
Yep, Key City.
On the Out of Bounds show. You can watch the show right now because I'm about to stuff my face while Jack talks about Key City Cold Brew and just some of the one-offs and celebratory anniversary beers that they've done. But Jack chef, beer connoisseur aficionado, Jack Bourgeois with Key City Beer.
I don't know about all that.
Chorizo, venison jalapeno poppers. Jackson Meadows, tell me what you think, my man, because you love good food.
Man, these things are. This is. I kind of had an expectation of what I was going to go with this morning, and I woke up. I knew you were coming in, obviously.
He didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I told him yesterday, but he forgot. But he was excited when I told him this morning that he was having food. He was like Scooby-Doo.
So when I walked in, I had to make an executive decision real quick whether I was going to get food or not. I think, I was going to get a few pieces of bacon or something downstairs just to tie me over. You threw me a beef stick, and I let it ride because I needed to wait until the poppers got here.
Boom.
So I could adequately judge these things.
Adequately? What are you doing with your vocabulary
just
this
a
morning?
vocab king.
Did you hear that, Jack Bourgeois?
The education in this room.
Man,
It's ridiculous.
Beautiful. I actually used it perfectly, too.
Isn't it, right?
I don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah, I just try sometimes, man.
It must be the Key City Me Vita.
It's the
But Jack,
poppers.
in all seriousness, thank you for cooking this for us.
Oh yeah, no, thank you.
It's a treat.
I'm glad.
So
I finally got the chance to.
No, I
It's
mean,
one of my favorite things to do. When you hunt, I think the best thing is getting to be able to share.
no doubt.
Share your harvest with somebody and being able to cook it and share it and get that response back. The look I get in the market when somebody takes a sample of a sip of our beer is such a good feeling. Same thing with my food when I'm cooking it at home. But there's definitely a sense of pride of having your fingerprint on a dish or on a beer. I don't get any credit for how good the beer tastes. That's all Zach. That's all Josh and our brewery crew back there. But
Zach and Josh with Key City, you're rock stars. But thank you for cooking for us because you just said it. When you share food, you share love. I mean, you share experiences, man.
agreed. 100%.
And so, look, we get to cover sports, right? We interview people all the time and talk about games and coaches and players and personalities. But the most fun stuff that we do are the food and beverage segments.
Oh yeah, when I was working in sports, it was the hanging out at the bar after with all the guys.
Exactly.
It was the going out to eat, and getting to host the Bucks coaching staff one year. That was probably my highlight in.
It's probably
in
underwhelming.
NFL.
That's what
Pretty underwhelming.
Yeah,
That's what we built the show on.
Yeah.
Dudes going to dinner and lunch and having beers and sharing food and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's my
We'll let
job
other
now.
people do hardcore sports. We like to do culinary and libations.
I'm spoiled. I get to do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And so still get to come on here and talk some sports every now and then too.
And we'll talk Tampa Bay in just a second, but and I love that you took a shot at Jackson Meadows, New Orleans Saints in a very subtle way earlier, and I love you for that. And Jack used to work in the NFL and all into analytics and is a huge NFL and obviously college football fan. Jack Bourgeois with Key City Beer out of Vicksburg. Also, shout out to Zach and the team for partnering with us. They've got Key City Cold Brew, which is fabulous, and it is so good. My daughter loves it. I mean, so Jack will drop off some, and I'll take it home, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Or she takes it back to Starkville, which is super cool. That's great in the morning, great midday for some of you, mid-afternoon. Key City Cold Brew.
We've actually just started to get into stores up in Starkville. So she can buy it up there.
Oh,
good. I'll let her know.
And I'll be up there next week doing a tap takeover at Bulldog Burger.
Well, I may have to go with you.
Please do.
Just because you need a wingman.
I won't say no to it.
It goes back to, this is what we do. Wilkes, we got you some jalapeno popper over there too, that Jack Bourgeois made. Wilkes is our intern for the summer.
Didn't bring a milkshake for the crew.
Oh, Jay Meadows may be upset.
Weak.
Because he may have wanted a
banana pudding milkshake.
A banana pudding milkshake from Whataburger.
Yeah.
We may have to get Wilkes to get back out in a little while.
Come on.
And you wanted one of Jack Bourgeois' chorizo, venison, jalapeno poppers. But we're going to call them the Bourgeois poppers because that sounds super cool.
That are the Bourgeois bangers.
Sorry, I interrupted you on the cold brew.
Oh,
Key City Cold Brew. Go ahead,
Key
Jack
City
Bourgeois.
Cold Brew, just straight plain black cold brew in a can. No artificial flavors, sweeteners, preservatives, no calories, no carbs. It is literally just coffee and water.
Yep.
So it's a blank canvas.
Delicious.
You can always add something to it. If you need your cream and sugar.
A little cinnamon in the morning?
Yeah, a little.
Okay.
I probably do a little pump of caramel in there sometimes when I'm feeling like I need a little sugar.
Mississippi honey?
Caramel.
Oh, yeah.
Like they have downstairs at Beagle Bagel.
Do you have good
They
honey?
carry that Yazoo honey. And then Jermaine Benoit mentioned that you can. That's what I do every morning. I put the cinnamon in my coffee instead of, and
Health
it's
boost.
fabulous. So Key City Cold Brew's doing well too, and we want supermarkets and grocery stores and restaurants, bars to.
We met with Corner Market last week. Our beans are going in on the shelves in the next few weeks.
Nice.
Hopefully the cold brew will follow. So, but yeah, if you want to go to our product map at keycitybeer.com, all of our beer, all of our coffee, you can find out every location it is available in the state of Mississippi.
I love it. I'm gonna take a bite of this.
Please do.
So, but I'm gonna tee you up. And if you want to see me eat on camera, it doesn't bother me. You can go to YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports. Jack Bourgeois got a super cool Key City T-shirt. Wilkes, I got you one over there. And those are really, really nice. And then you got the restaurant and bar in Vicksburg.
Right. 1311 Washington Street, right downtown.
All right, I want you to tee that up and tell us about Key City Mi Vida while I take a bite of this. Give me a minute. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, enjoy. So, again, Key City's Mi Vida, Mexican lager. To be served with a lime. Only thing that makes Mexican lager Mexican is going to be the corn elote that gets added to it. So once you add that lime to it, it kind of really sets it off and pops that beer. I like Corona. I love Modelo. Those are good beers, but a good craft Mexican lager is something that's really kind of become a thing and become a staple for us. So when you hit that lime in there, it really sets that beer off and kind of makes a difference. It stands out a lot more than some of those other Mexican lagers that aren't as full-bodied. But yeah, we are very, very proud of that beer.
You should be.
We drink that in-house more than anything else amongst our
really?
brewing staff. Yeah, it's all of our brewing staff drinks that year long. Yeah,
That says something right there.
Oh yeah, it is the most drank beer from our brewing staff. So that's saying something for sure.
Sir.
So for our listeners, if you're not quite, it's Mi Vida. All right, Key City, it's M-I and then V-I-D-A. Mi Vida, Mexican lager. And I love it looks like a sunshine or something.
Yeah. Similar. I mean, kind of looks like that the Sublime Sun a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it always reminds me of.
I love this color.
Oh, me too. Teal is my favorite color for a certain sports team. Now we also have the Mud Monsters here in town that are also
They're
repping teal. So
Hey,
I love that.
The Mud Monsters are awesome.
Their
gear is super cool.
And they sell Mi Vida.
Nice.
Got it on draft and in package in the stadium.
Shout out to the Mississippi Mud Monsters in
dang.
Pearl at that beautiful stadium that sell Key City Mi Vida Mexican lager right out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
And an event at Fondren Public too, doing a Mi Vida event tomorrow. First Thursday tap takeover.
FP.
You guys aren't doing anything, please come join me. First beer's on me.
Where?
Nice.
Fondren Public, right downtown. They're doing First Thursday in downtown Fondren.
Oh yeah.
So I will be there,
First
handing out
Thursday.
some of those sun hats and some of these Mi Vida shirts.
Hey,
We got buy a beer, get a pint glass. I got koozies, stickers, you name it.
Jackson, will you put that on the set if you can, or hand it to Wilkes? Wilkes, will you put it on the set where it's facing the camera? That'd be great.
Nice. Real good.
Well, that sun
Looking like
hat's
Kyle Shuck
awesome.
over there.
That's
All
how
right, real quick,
rules.
let's pump this again because we're having fun and we're all over the place. We are the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN, put it by this Whiskey 61
There's
hat. Right there, bud. Perfect. We're having fun. This is the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, and Key City's in the house. Jack Bourgeois was kind enough to make us some chorizo, venison, jalapeno poppers, which are the Bourgeois poppers. Tomorrow, they've got a Key City tap takeover at Fondren Public. What time does that start?
It starts at 5:00.
That's my time.
Yeah, we'll be going.
See, because I know y'all go
Oh,
out,
my.
y'all's crew, y'all go out at 9 or stuff like that. See, I'm going in at 7.
Not in my 30s, no.
Wendy and I like to go out, meet somebody at 5, have a cocktail at 5:30, dinner at 6, be home at 7:30.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Time.
Okay.
I think I left
But
the house.
not tomorrow. I'll be out a little later tomorrow.
I think
Okay.
I left the house at 1:30 a.m.
When?
to go out about 1:30.
Mm.
But F. Jones doesn't start.
I
popping
used
till
to do
2,
that.
man. F. Jones was popping at 2.
Look, somebody would walk through the college apartment.
I gotta be there.
Somebody would walk through the college apartment at 10 o'clock and be like, hey, you want to go out?
Yeah, I
and
mean,
you'd
yeah.
end up going out.
Right.
I mean, but that's what we did when we were 21.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
some
can't,
about
I can't
last
stay up
weekend.
till 4 or 5
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
morning
no,
now. It
I'm
ruins
out.
me for a week.
He can. And I don't know what he does, but anyway.
That was this past weekend, yeah. So
All right, Jack Bourgeois on the Out of Bounds show. We talked about the Key City Cold Brew. It is fabulous, and you want to look for it. Key City Cold Brew. Zach, Jack, team have done a great job with that. And then Key City Mi Vida, their Mexican lager, is now year-round. They added it to Mississippi Queen, Death on Two Legs, and Mississippi.
Now part
Is
of
that
the
fair?
core. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And I also brought you the Mi Muerte.
Oh, I want to try
which is
that.
the
Thank
dark
you.
Mexican lager right there for
Thank you, my brother.
So I
When
got
you
Cheers
some
to
right
you.
here. Cheers. No, thank you for having me again.
when you gonna start selling these poppers? These are heat.
Hey, that hut that they have downstairs
yeah,
in
yeah,
between Beagle Bagel and the other building,
Snow biz.
yeah, Bourgeois could sell these jalapeno poppers and make a lot of
Oh,
money.
I promise.
I'm not.
All right, those things are phenomenal.
They are
They
phenomenal.
really are, man.
But
I can't.
I mean, that's a
didn't know they were
no-brainer.
That good, yeah.
Damn. Okay, sorry. You got this new beer. Talk to me.
Mi Muerte, dark Mexican lager. It's kind of the evil twin to Mi Vida.
I like that.
But yeah, it's Amber style Mexican lager.
It's delicious.
It's going to be a little bit more on the malt forward, roasty.
Yeah,
Yeah, but still bright, still drinkable.
this pairs well with this too.
Oh yes, it does. That's why I brought it. Those were
Okay,
what
let me do
those
that.
were what I was drinking last night.
Okay.
Like I had a few Mi Vitas, prepping, but
I love how
then probably had a few more Mi Vitas while it was getting cooked, and then had a few more. Then I moved to the Muerte to pair with it when I ate an entire tray of those to
All right,
myself.
here we go.
Dude. Could drill those things all day.
Muerte.
Yeah, if you got time to smoke them, they're even better. You get a real good char and crisp on the
Gosh,
bacon.
that'd be so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can get even better. I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
How about that? Oh, they're delicious.
I don't know how. That's good stuff.
We've only got this thing went by. We've only got 5 minutes.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Why?
He's gotten so much better.
Yeah,
He's gotten a whole lot better at doing this.
he's got it down,
Yeah, he's
and
got
then
it down pat.
he
It's
threw
his
in
second nature now.
on National Cheese Day. He threw in some chorizo venison jalapeno poppers.
Come on now.
The man's a legend.
I mean,
Jack Bourgeois, Key City Beer, Key City Cold Brew, and Key City Mi Vida is out, but now it's not going away. It's year-round at your grocery store, service station, restaurant, and bar. All right, let's turn to Tampa Bay and how bad they're going to beat the Saints this year.
It's gonna be pretty bad.
I don't care who's playing where. Saints are still
No,
win.
the issue is the Saints always beat us with backup quarterbacks.
That's true.
So you
Always.
never know. I think they have a depth chart full of backup quarterbacks currently. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm really excited. We might have to go ahead to that game this year
All right,
if
come on now.
you're down, Jackson.
Oh, I don't even know when they're playing.
I think the one in New Orleans is in December.
Perfect. My
Yeah,
birthday.
we also got a state Texas game on October 25th that we
Yes.
might have to go to too.
Yes.
Yeah, we should definitely plan that one.
Tito's is coming in big. They're renting. I'm not going to give too much away,
Nice.
but Tito's is renting out a space in Starkville, and we're going to be there on Friday before the Texas
You need
game.
a plus one?
Yes.
You're gonna need more than one.
And evidently some of the big dogs from Austin are coming in, so it's going to be I think they're going to be at Old Waverly, and then in Starkville we'll break that a little bit
man,
more.
then we should be there.
But back to Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
we've got kind of the resurgence of Baker Mayfield,
yes.
but it's also line of scrimmage and defense. I mean, is he that good?
Mike Evans.
Our defense kind of left him out to dry last year.
Yeah, they
He had to throw he threw a lot of those interceptions because we were down, because we were having to play from behind.
Every quarterback
The
does that when
secondary-
they're down in the NFL.
Tampa Bay's secondary has been historically bad for
Tragic.
years and years and years.
Since John Lynch.
Always top run defense, never a top passing
Serious.
defense. I don't know about that.
Oh, come on.
John
Hey,
Lynch.
Who else has played DB back there is worth a crap?
Hey,
None
we
of them.
won a Super Bowl with a decent
tripped
group.
it.
I mean,
Now the general-
Antoine Winfield Jr., best safety in the game.
He's pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's pretty
He's
good.
pretty good.
Hey, John Lynch,
really good.
now the general manager for the San Francisco 49ers. But anyway, back to, which you've got West Coast roots too, but back to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Y'all are the favorite to win the NFC South.
We are, and rightfully so right now. I think
That's true.
there is so much depth in every position. The Emeka Ibuka first round pick just shows how much of a luxury they have with how well they've built that roster out. Josh Parrish was one of my favorite players Jacob Parrish was one of my favorite players coming out of the draft this year. So I'm extremely excited about our secondary. Between him and Benjamin Morrison, I think we've kind of
shorted up.
Yeah, we've shorted up. Even if we do have some injury. Jamal Dean has kind of had some injury riddled seasons. So we've got some depth behind him now to shore up the secondary. Bucks got a bunch of linebackers. They've got some studs on both sides of the trenches. I'm very excited.
No, they don't.
How do you feel about Tampa Bay?
They don't have studs.
Winning the NFC South over your Saints again?
They should.
I know.
It's plain and simple.
Well, they've run their organization well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best.
Let's be honest.
Now, it's the top program in the South, the NFC South.
The Saints haven't. And, of course, Carolina's garbage. And Atlanta, I think, is on their way back.
Yeah, I think so. I think Penix is going to be all right. And they have other pieces.
I think he is.
I mean, he can sling it.
He can't move.
Neither could Peyton.
But he could.
No, I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying that there's a lot of immobile quarterbacks that have been pretty decent.
Yeah, but is that the case now?
I think so. I think you still win from the pocket.
No doubt.
You still win from the pocket,
I
especially
agree.
come playoff time. You look at somebody like Lamar Jackson who tears it up. As soon as you can make them one-dimensional, anybody who has to heavily rely on the run game, and you can stop that and take that away, it makes it hard. You've got to be able to win from the pocket. I think people like Penix, I think people like Shador Sanders, who was very underappreciated in this draft class. When it comes to accuracy and processing and being able to read a defense, that is far more important than a 40 time. It always has been and always will be.
Oh, I concur, yeah.
Jack Bourgeois, Key City Beer, weighing in on his Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a little bit more of the NFL. We're getting out of here, aren't we? Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Look for Key City Cold Brew all around town or ask for it. And now Key City has rolled out Mi Vida full time. That's their Mexican lager. MIVIDA, Key City, right out of Vicksburg. Of course, they've got the Mississippi Queen. Found that at Mudbugs. Mudbugs is open today. Mudbugs at the Reservoir, Mudbugs in Brandon, best crawfish and shrimp. They have Key City, Mississippi Queen on tap. Jack Bourgeois with Key City. Go ahead and get in touch with him and get Key City in your bar, restaurant, service station, or grocery store. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chef Jack Bourgeois in the house. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers, guys.